Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Luke Payson. Welcome back for everyone who is already a subscriber to the show. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe so you can get some more great interviews, including the one coming at you right now. Always exciting. Anytime I can have one of the best nicknames in MMA, Hurricane Hope, back on the show. Hurricane Hope, welcome back.
Great to be here, Luke.
It's great having you on the show. As part of the intro, I also have to point out that you will be headlining as a pro MMA fight, headlining in the first ever 247 Friday night fights. This is May 29th. May 30th was already an announced 247 MMA fights at the venue. That's that name. And then that's 6, I think. And then you are headlining the first ever Friday night fights. So let's jump in there. May 29th, what did it feel like when they asked you to headline this doubleheader card, which is actually going to come first?
It felt amazing. Yeah, they told me I was scheduled to fight on May 30th, and then they told me that they needed to split the card up. So they're like, hey, would you be willing to fight on Friday? And I'm like, well, if you make me the co-main or main event. And they're like, we can do that. So, you gotta shoot your shot, right?
That's called, you gotta shoot your shot. That's your negotiation. Main event, obviously, that's an honor to you and both to your opponent. We'll jump right into it. They're flying your opponent up from Florida. This is a big time. 247 owner Ryan Middleton, GM Hunter Homostack have always said for years that by getting their own venue, their permanent building, not only will they have a variety of things, they have wrestling and jiu-jitsu and armored combat when they're like nights and all types of other events, music events, but they also said it would help build MMA. Clearly a doubleheader night, Friday and Saturday is part of that. What are your thoughts on them flying in your opponent, Kat Nelson, a pro out of Florida, up for the fight? And how does it feel to kind of have the support of 247?
It's amazing that they're willing to fly in high quality opponents for me to make sure that we have put on a really good fight. 247 is really about putting on a show, making it a night to remember. So I'm really grateful to have such a promotion here in Pittsburgh in this area. So yeah, it's an honor to fight for them, and I'm very grateful that they fly in opponents to make sure that they put on really good fights.
Yeah, hats off to them. Shout out to them. It also allows you and both your opponent to get better quality fights because anywhere in MMA, particularly women's MMA, it can be a little hard to get good matchups. What are your thoughts on kind of where you are in your pro career? You're 5-3, a good record. You're going into your 9th pro fight plus the amateurs, and kind of how have you been developing and how do you kind of see your training trajectory in pro MMA?
Uh, Wow, I feel like I'm at the cusp right now of going into the big leagues. All it's gonna take is one real good show with good highlights, get in front of the right eyes, and I don't know. What I'm shooting for is to get into the contender series this year if I can get in front of the right people. But first you gotta, smash the person in front of you. So yeah, I feel like I'm at the cusp. I'm like really close to breaking through into that level, into the top, the big leagues. I've already fought in like LFA and Invicta before, but I'm feeling like I'm pretty close to even kicking past that and getting into the UFC real soon.
That's incredible. It's a great mindset to have one fight at a time. Obviously, like you have to beat your opponent in front of you, but it's great to be at that level of your career. Speaking of your career development, you are fighting full-time out of Indio Dojo. We've talked about it quite a bit. I've had the head coach out of that gym, the owner and head coach, Danilo Vielfort, on the show several years ago, just talking about being a coach. He was a pro fighter himself, lots of great things. What does that gym and that training mean to you? And then talk about Ken Burrs, an MMA fighter in his own right, who recently took over as, I think, developed, because it grew into a coach, an MMA coach while they still have all the jiu-jitsu and all those other things. So how is Indio Dojo going, and how is it having Ken Burrs in the role of coach for MMA?
Indio Dojo has been such a blessing to me ever since that I started training there. Just the whole vibe of the team, like every single person in there is trying to sharpen each other because everybody wants to get better. And you have to credit that to the guy who runs it, Indio Villafort. He really promotes a vibe. He really promotes the atmosphere of let's sharpen each other, let's be respectful, let's be real. So he's always about making people better and stronger. So I'm really grateful to be a part of that gym and be connected that way to the Villaforts. They're just amazing family. I love Bianca, Bernardo's awesome, and of course Danilo. Just blessed to have them involved in being able to be a part of Indio Jojo. It's an honor. And as far as Ken Burrs goes, he's a freaking awesome teammate. I fought with him on one card for LFA. We were both on the same card, so that was really cool. And now to see him step into head coach of MMA, it couldn't ask for a better person to step into it. He's a really good coach, knows his stuff, and he's always uh, like top dog in the gym, kinda. Whenever people come in, they're like, "Oh, I'm afraid to go with Burrs." Um, but just because he'll push you real hard, right? He's got a lot of control and a lot of skill. But he takes the time. Like whenever I get partnered up with him and he's coaching me, he takes the time to help me to understand what it is that he's trying to get me to do or what the mistakes that I'm making so that I can adjust. So really grateful, great coaching staff at Indio Dojo.
Yeah, that's great feedback. I know they recently expanded and I think moved to a new location a couple of years ago. So hats off to everybody being connected and involved. At one point, I think he's still there. Had the amateur welterweight champ for 247, I believe, was training out of there. The Rusi.
Yeah, yep, he still
Evan
trains there.
Carusi was training. Hats off to him. The American Bulldog, I believe, just great fighters,
Yep.
great gym. As we turn to your upcoming fight, you've talked about kind of knowing where you are in your career development, looking for a nice kind of signature win to be able to have highlights to go to the UFC and stuff. What are your thoughts of Kat Nelson as you match up against her in this upcoming fight?
I think that she's a high quality opponent, and that's exactly the kind of opponents that I want. I want to smash and dominate the best. I don't want to just smash and dominate people who are like, I want to smash and dominate the best. I want to put on amazing shows. I'm a hurricane. I want to be moving around there, throwing debris at her, just hitting her with the whole storm. What I know is that I was already the lightning before anyone heard the thunder. Now I just got to make sure that the right people are hearing the thunder in order to get up to where I need to be going.
Well, I love all the metaphors, and that is truly a right mindset to have. Do you have a particular thing that you want to show off? Are you looking for finishes? You've mentioned smash, things like that. Like what's kind of your ideal situation? And then I love to ask this question: you're a headliner event. And I think people should be very excited to see you. We've seen you inside 247 Cage. You mentioned fighting for Invicta and other big promotions as well. Well, why are you must see fights when you're in the cage? Why should people be excited to watch you on back-to-back nights, which I obviously think people should?
Uh, People should be excited whenever I'm in the cage because that's whenever the hurricane is at its fullest. It's the most intense. And whenever you're there, you get to be part of the storm. You get to feel the energy in real life. Because when I'm there, I'm not just filling that with my own energy. I'm expanding it. It is an entire full experience. You don't see fights like mine. You see in the women's division some fights they can be intense, but nothing gets as brutal and intense as it is with mine. And I have also added in precision. I go into execute now. So my game has even gotten better. So whenever you come in, you're going to see things you haven't seen before. I have skills that other people don't have. I come from a sport karate background. But I've also been training MMA specifically since I was 14. So I have like 13 years under my belt of specifically training for MMA and 17 years of dreaming of being the world champion in MMA. So I have all this experience behind me, and that's something that I bring into the cage that nobody else does. So that's why people should show up to 247 Friday Night Fights on May 29th.
May 29th at the Sunny Days Arena at the venue, an incredible venue. You gave a great pitch. I love it. You're a very entertaining fighter. The sport karate background leads to a lot of unique attacks and kicks, similar to, or maybe kind of along the same lines of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, kind of that style, which is very exciting. And like you said, you are a mixed martial artist. It's one of the reasons why we talked a lot about Indio Dojo and really digging in to all of what MMA has to offer. I can't wait to see you. I always encourage people to get tickets from 247fighting.com. That's the official website, or directly from you, directly from anybody at Indio Dojo, and not any online links. There's a lot of scammers that pop up. Nothing on Facebook, none of the social medias as far as links goes. But you also have to make sure that you're getting, if you want to support Hurricane Hope, that you give her credit as you select 247 Friday Night Fights, the May 29th card, the May 30th card. You should probably get both tickets and come back-to-back nights, get a hotel, stay in the area. That's the type of things the 247 Fighting Championships wants to do, to be able to be a weekend of MMA where people get hotels and come eat in the Pittsburgh area and have a great time. So thanks so much for coming on the show. I can't wait to see what you have to offer inside the 247 Fighting Championship cage. This has been Luke Payson with MMA Fancast, the one, the only Hurricane Hope Chase. Thanks so much. Can't wait to see you inside the venue, 247 Fighting Championships at Friday Night Fights, #1, at Sunny Days Arena. Can't wait to see you there. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, Luke.
You got it.